Konnichiwa, y'all, and welcome to the 10 at 10. Today is the 10 at 10 for Thursday. Another Thursday drop, Thursday, July 20th of 2023.
Hey guys, get excited. We're bringing back some cool plants y'all been asking for. I'm Tim. Y'all, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We put out daily content for you here on the Mr. Maple Show, and we do a weekly podcast, so subscribe to us on your favorite podcast platform.
Y'all have been so gracious to us. We are right there at 20,000 subscribers. We're really excited. We've got some big news with that, and we're really excited for our Labor Day open house coming up soon. So make plans to be here for Labor Day. Butterfly coming into the screen there for you guys. I really appreciate you tuning in. I think we've got an excellent 10 at 10 for you as well. I'm Matt. Let's dive straight into this one, Tim.
Let's start down this side. We got some good size 1 gallons of Acer shirasawanum Aureum, the golden full moon maple, coming back in stock on Mr. Maple.
He's wrong. Forget good size. These are great sizes. I mean, look at that thing.
These are some of our large 1 gallons. You know, Aureum is known for being a slow grower, but it gives you a really nice yellow color in the landscape. It's a great container plant. I like to grow this in a container and move it around to find its happy spot in the yard. You want to give it some protection from the hot afternoon sun, but the golden full moon maple, it is a classic.
Ah, beautiful tree. You know, you can get some really nice yellow shades on this one. This time of the summer, it's a little bit more chartreuse green. You get some yellow new growth, oranges to reds in the fall. Beautiful tree. Definitely recommend some late day shade in those hotter zones, but one of the quintessential Acer shirasawanum cultivars. Really cool to see. I got to see the original one at Esfeld Plantinium in Holland, and it was a really neat thing to see. One of the most classic Japanese maples, maybe the most famous Acer shirasawanum as well.
Yeah, I would say so. And there's a crazy thing about it at Esfeld. Literally, Seabold came by and threw it off the ship, as the rumor goes, and they planted it right where it landed.
Cool plant. All right, what do we got up next? From one full moon to another, we've got Abby's Weeping. This is that Acer japonicum. Abby's Weeping, probably one of the most highly sought after forms of Acer japonicum.
It is. It's a slow growing Acer japonicum, much smaller than something like a green cascade, and a little bit larger than something like a fairy lights. But this thing puts on some dramatic fall colors, and it really does have a little more of a cascading habit, more so than fairy lights.
A little bit smaller overall too than green cascade. Might be, I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite for fall. This one seems to be one of the most dramatic. It typically shows out. I've had it be almost purplish. I mean, really weird shades, purples, reds, yellows, oranges. I really have got some really crazy shades of purple consistently on this one though. I mean, almost like purple red. It's so neat.
And Abby's Weeping, these are some really large 1 gallons for this. I mean, typically a 2-year 1 gallon is much, much smaller than this. This would typically be about the size of a 3-year 1 gallon. I mean, amazing sizes on these Acer japonicum Abby's Weeping.
Makes a great candidate for container gardening. You can put this one in a big pot, bring it up on the patio. Again, fun thing about this one, if you have it in shade, it's not going to affect the colors. You're still going to get great fall color. It's not going to green up any more than it already does. Great tassel flower on this one in the early spring as well. Giving it an added ornamental quality in that spring garden. Really excellent. I mean, there's a lot of great ways to use this one. I think the patio planter, one of the very best ways. Whew, some of y'all are going to be weeping when this one sells out.
Guys, we've got Acer palmatum Ghost Dragon.
Okay, now this is one we named here. It's part of our Pendulous Treasures collection, TM. For the Pendulous Treasures, we have Ryusen selections that have unique outside the box traits. Ghost Dragon is kind of funny. It's like the most popular names in Japanese maples kind of smushed together. This one was our top secret plant for so long here at Mr. Maple. And what this one can do, especially in the early spring, is give you some Higasayama-like variegation over top of Ryusei style. Now, I always let people know it is a little inconsistent on that. Kind of like Usagumo, it's not something you're going to see every single year. As this one slows down and ages, you'll see more and more of it. Really cool looking plant though.
Now, one thing that is consistent every spring when you grow this tree with some sunlight is some really nice fingernail-like red variegation, like that tipping, almost like a sumagaki-like on the tips of this, with really sharp, pointed, hand-cupping downward leaves. Gives this tree something very unique, very different on that weeping cascading style. And then on top of that, you get that extra bonus of having that Higasayama style variegation in it at sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. It's a ghost, right? This one has that heavily cascading habit that's so fun to play with. Great for hanging baskets, great for letting be a ground cover. I love this style of a Japanese maple because it's so fun to play with.
Awesome tree, guys. This is one that does tend to sell out. If you do need a later fall shipping, you can always let our office know or put that in the notes for seller. And we're bringing back some nice size 1 gallon tattoos.
Guys, Tattoo, this is a selection that was made famous by Red Maple Nurseries. It's one of the slowest growing Makawa selections, and it has a little more ruffled leaf and a little more serrated foliage than a Makawa Yatsubusa.
All right, so I looked it up. I've been triggering everybody for a while with this one. I know the guys on Fantasy Island. I've said in like 15 different videos, I'm like, hey, the guy from Gilligan's Island that's named Tattoo.
Love Boat.
Yeah, Love Boat. Like, everybody's just been going nuts. I get a bunch of good comments under it, though. The cat's out of the bag. I've been doing that intentionally, on purpose. I did look this guy up the other day. He's a pretty crazy person. I liked him in the James Bond film The Best myself. Tattoo, though, excellent small plant for that landscape. Much slower and much more ruffled version of Makawa. So you're going to get a smaller overall plant, and that ruffled edge gives it a very regal, kind of claw-like appearance. This is an excellent tree for bonsai as well.
Maybe they should have named it Acer palmatum de plain. That was Tattoo's favorite catch line. But amazing, fun Japanese maple. Great for small spaces. Such a cool little dwarf. Great for bonsai. I remember seeing the original one of these that I ever saw was in Pennsylvania, and now that tree has left there and is at Ed Chin's garden, and it's just this immaculate, large, big Acer palmatum tattoo that's just amazing.
Cool story, bro. All right, guys, next up on the table, we've got Orange Dream.
Orange Dream, selection by Ghirardelli Nursery in Italy. Ghirardelli Nursery is known for so many amazing plants, including Orange Dream, Fire Glow, Stella Rosa. I mean, they've introduced so many awesome plants, but this one is one of their classic yellows.
Not a lot of people know this, but if you eat the leaves of this one, it tastes like Ghirardelli chocolate. And so it's really popular with Momiji tempura. You can deep fry the leaves and get that nice chocolatey center to it.
Oh yeah. You want to give Orange Dream some protection from the hot afternoon sun. This is a plant that will get about 6 to 8 foot in height in 10 years. If you give it too much sun, you'll start to see some burn on the foliage. That means you're going to have to move that plant into a little more shade. But this is an amazing plant that can really give you some nice bleached out yellows even in a more shaded situation. So it can really lighten up those dark spots in the garden.
Awesome one to be growing. Another great candidate for a big planter. You can put this in a patio planter and kind of play with the shape of it, play with where you're putting it location-wise. If you're giving this one some early morning sun, you can actually get some pinkish new growth over top of it. And that early morning sun in the early spring can really give it some bold orange hues to it as well.
So next up is one of my favorite Japanese maples, Acer palmatum Higasayama.
Really cool one. Again, another fun one for bonsai. Higasayama is an older cultivar. It's been around since the 1700s and really cool. And we just did a 1700s podcast. I believe this one might be sometimes listed as 1800s, but it's right there in some of those earliest lists. This one has that amazing reticulated variegation, a little bit different than the typical Ghost series. Now, I always let people know when you're getting one during the summer, they're going to be green, especially coming out of a greenhouse. As you get these in the ground, they'll slow down and you'll get way better color. The summer color, especially in a greenhouse, is always going to be pretty green.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one that people often ask about during the summer, because that new growth during the summer is always green. Next year, that will go back to being your Higasayama style variegation. But it has a unique reticulated variegation with a lot of pinks and whites. And it's called the popcorn maple often because the leaves will actually unfurl, cupping downward, almost looking like popcorn. This is such a fun Japanese maple that really gives you some really nice colors in the springtime especially.
All right, from one heavily variegated to another, next we've got Acer palmatum Radiant.
Guys, Radiant brings the colors.
Send this one to your wife and say, babe, you're looking radiant today.
It really gives you a lot of nice pink and white variegation to this plant. This plant is plant that if you see parts of it that aren't showing as much variegation, cut it back, let it spout out some new variegation on that. I mean, it gives a unique style because it gets some oregano style variegation in there, but it also gets a sand dusting variegation on top of that. And when this tree is first leafing out, you can almost get some borders to that as well.
Order this one for your husband and say, honey, you're a radiant light in my life. Hey, it's better than saying, honey, you remind me of oranges and lemons.
Oranges and lemons is a really cool green upright that goes to bright yellows and oranges in the fall. And that's where it gets the name of oranges and lemons. We've got a big stock plant on the ground here at Mr. Maple. And this tree really does have some really good fall color.
Yeah, really excellent fall color. We've got a massive stock plant of this. It's really nice. I mean, you do get some shades of oranges and reds going on in this one. Another one that would be a fun candidate because of the leaf shape and growth of this one for bonsai. It is quite vigorous. It does get out there, but it's got a smaller overall leaf shape. And then you get that excellent accompaniment by that fall color. It'd make a great bonsai platform. Also makes a nice full-size tree in the landscape. It does tend to be very dense and full into that 15-foot range.
Yeah, it's going to be one that's pretty heat tolerant for a lot of people. And then what's coming up next is also a nice heat tolerant selection of an Acer pictum, y'all.
All right, we're back on the table with the one everybody's interested in today. They're interested in all of them, but this one's the one that's going to get all the attention. We've got the BatWing maple, Acer pictum Usagumo.
The BatWing maple is back. You know, Usagumo, this is a really cool plant that leaves out kind of coral pink and then goes to this white. And it just has this white, just dusting, reticulated, it's almost style variegation all throughout the leaf. It creates these leaves that are almost batwing in their nature. This is going to be a tree that's going to sell out very quick today, so do check out fast. It doesn't hold it for you in their cart. The tree's not held for you until you finish the checkout process, so make sure you check out really quickly.
Yeah, these are about 1.5 foot, nice sizes on these, grafted onto Acer truncatum, very heat tolerant, quality plant, especially for the south. I do recommend giving it some late day shade for its best color. You'll get some of that more kind of weird swirling going on within that leaf. Really a fun one to be growing though. We've started to get a really nice specimen of this going now at our Maplewood Gardens. Our main tree of this is probably over 14 feet now, really showy. That older growth you get even larger foliage on, and I love that swirling going on in there.
And if you want to see a highlight on this, go check out our Halloween special where Matt dresses up as Batman and discusses the BatWing Japanese maple.
It's not the tree your yard needs, it's the tree your yard deserves. All right, we've got another one on the table here. We've got Rising Sun.
Guys, this is a large leaf Acer japonicum. We put a lot of full moons on this 10 at 10. In fact, we've had a lot of full moons on the last few recent 10 at 10s. And this one is one of the larger leafed Acer japonicum selections.
Oh, great fall colors on this one too. It's not uncommon to be reds, oranges, and yellows all at the same time on Rising Sun. We actually did a great cultivar highlight on this too at our friend Dr. Criticos's garden, so make sure to check out that. It's got some peak fall color going on that tree. Beautiful Acer japonicum selection though, and I think one that is, you know, it's not used enough. I mean, I would say Rising Sun could rival Aureum for its usage in the garden for sure.
It definitely can. It gives you that large tropical feel with really large coarse leaves. Gives you some amazing fall color, and everything's bigger in the japonicums. The leaves, the thicker branching, but also the flowers in the early spring, so it gives you an extra added bonus having some red tassel flowers hanging off of them. I love the japonicums. There's, you know, probably less than 40 japonicums in the nursery trade, and so it's a fun thing to collect because there's so few of them in the nursery trade and so many really cool ones that are very unique and different.
Definitely grab an Acer japonicum. They're an amazing plant to be growing, and they bring just that really high interest fall dynamic to the garden. Typically, Rising Sun's going to be in that 12 to 15 foot range, making it a really nice platform for all that fall color. Hey, if you hadn't heard already, we're doing a Labor Day open house, so make sure to sign up and come visit us. If you're coming with a group, we do have bus parking available, but let us know ahead of time if it's going to be bus parking. We plan on making this our at least close to second biggest open house of the year. I know Memorial Day and Labor Day are our traditional open houses we like to do. And Labor Day, we're pulling out all stops. We've got a band. We may have a food truck. We're looking into that. And we may have some really cool announcements for you there at that day as well.
So check out all the information on our website on MrMaple.com about that. But guys, today on Thursday, we're listing 20 trees. So there's actually 10 more trees than we talked about here today. Sign up for our weekly email, and at 9 a.m. you'll be getting that in your email inbox. That's when it sends out. And you can read the full listing of the 20 trees that are getting listed that day. If you missed out this week, just jump on at 10 a.m. Make sure to check out fast because we have some really cool trees that are likely going to sell out fast.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Have a good day. God bless.
Take care. Goodbye.